Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this series of talks on the history of Christianity in the ancient period. This is the 6th talk in the series, presented to you by Father Mahimai Das, a Salesian priest of the province of Bengaluru. I hope the previous videos on the history of Christianity have helped you understand the Church and our faith a little better. If you have not watched them, please find their links in the description so that you do not miss out the continuity. In the last video, we discussed how the Christian communities of St. Paul emerged in different parts of the Roman Empire, and how St. Paul contributed to Christian theology, and how he was arrested and killed. Today's talk will focus on St. Peter, how he was prominent in the Apostolic College, which makes his successor, the Bishop of Rome, prominent among other bishops, and analyze the evidences for the life and activities of St. Peter in Rome.
Our topic is St. Peter in Rome. All right, let's start with a simple question. What happened after Pentecost? Tradition tells us that the apostles didn't stay in Jerusalem. They went out, different directions, different regions, preaching the gospel just as Jesus had told them to do. Now, do we have travel diaries or exact maps of where they went? No. For most of this, we depend on early traditions and local stories preserved by the Church. According to these traditions, John preached and died in Ephesus. Thomas went all the way to Parthia and even to India. Andrew preached in Syria. Bartholomew is also linked with India. Philip preached in Asia Minor, what we today call Turkey.
Now here's the key question for us as students of church history. What about Peter? Where did he go and where did he die? This question is extremely important. Why? Because the Pope, the head of the Catholic Church today, is believed to be the successor of St. Peter. So when we say that Peter died and was buried in Rome, we are also explaining why the Bishop of Rome holds a special place in the Church.
So before asking where Peter went, let's first ask, who was Peter among the apostles? Whenever the apostles are listed, Peter's name comes first. That's not accidental. He was part of Jesus' inner circle, Peter, James, and John, and even there, Peter is mentioned first. He often spoke on behalf of the group. Think of Caesarea Philippi, when Jesus asks, "Who do you say I am?" Peter answers. Think of chapter 6 of John's Gospel, when Jesus asks his disciples, "Do you also want to go away?" Once again, Peter answers on behalf of the 12.
Jesus gives Peter some very clear responsibilities. Feed my sheep. He gives him the keys of the kingdom. On the day of Pentecost, it is Peter who stands up and preaches first. When Judas needs to be replaced, Peter leads the meeting and the election. So clearly, Peter had a leadership role from the very beginning.
Now, after Pentecost, what happens to Peter? Interestingly, the Acts of the Apostles doesn't give us many details. After Peter's miraculous escape from prison, which we find in chapter 12, Acts simply says he went to another place. That's it. Luke moves on. But from other parts of the New Testament and early tradition, we can trace Peter's movements. We find him in Antioch. We see him in Jerusalem at the council. He writes letters to Christians in Asia Minor. St. Paul tells us that some Christians in Corinth identified themselves with Cephas, Peter, and finally, Peter is associated with Rome.
So picture this. Peter doesn't settle down in one place. He keeps moving, preaching the gospel wherever he goes. And according to a very strong and ancient tradition, he finally reaches Rome. There, during the persecution of Emperor Nero, Peter is arrested and martyred. Tradition says he was crucified and buried near the Vatican Hill.
Now you might ask, is this just a nice story or do we have evidence? Actually, we have a lot. By around 200 AD, the Christian communities all over the Christian world, East and West, were saying the same thing. Peter died and was buried in Rome. And remember, this is not very far from the time of Peter himself. If this was false, someone would have objected. Writers from different regions support this.
In Alexandria, Clement says Peter preached in Rome and that Mark wrote down Peter's preaching. That's how we got the Gospel of Mark. Origen, another great theologian from Alexandria, says Peter was crucified upside down in Rome. In North Africa, Tertullian of Carthage says Peter died in Rome. In France, St. Irenaeus says Peter and Paul were preaching and establishing the church in Rome.
In the Church of Rome, a priest by name Caius spoke of Peter being in Rome. It was in the context of Proclus, a Montanist heretic who had come from Ephesus and began to spread his false doctrine in Rome. Proculus said that his authority was derived from the fact that he, being a member of the Church of Ephesus, where there were the trophies of Philip and his 4 virgin daughters, Caius opposed him in the following words: "Go to the Vatican Hill, go to the Ostian Way, and you will see the trophies of this church." The trophies here evidently refer to the tombs.
In the Church of Corinth, Dionysius the bishop wrote in 170 AD, saying that just as both Peter and Paul had worked in Corinth and converted the people there, they also worked in Rome and gave their lives for the faith there.
And then we have archaeology. Now, here's something interesting. Peter's Basilica is built in a very awkward place, on the side of a hill that used to be a Roman burial ground. No emperor would choose that spot unless it was extremely important. In the 1940s, excavations were done beneath St. Peter's Basilica. Under the main altar, archaeologists found very old structures, a tomb-like shrine, and even an inscription saying, "St. Peter, pray for us." Around it were many graves. Probably people wanted to be buried as close as possible to Peter.
So when we put everything together, tradition, writings, and archaeology, it becomes very hard to deny the conclusion. Peter was in Rome. Peter died in Rome. And Peter was buried there. And that, in simple terms, is why the Bishop of Rome holds a unique position in the Catholic Church even today.
Questions for reflection.
How is Peter's leadership different from domination or control?
How does Peter's leadership serve unity among the apostles?
Why do you think Jesus chose Peter as leader?
What lessons can modern church leaders learn from Peter's example?
Please mention your views in the comment section below.
Thank you very much, dear friends. I hope today's talk helped you understand the primacy of Peter in the Apostolic College and evidences for his Roman sojourn. In the next video, we shall see how the various Christian communities grew and spread after the death of the apostles. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, and if you have any suggestions or observations, kindly leave them in the comment section below. Thank you.